Hi guys, I got asked a question on here the other day about whether you should stratify your eucalyptus seeds. So I thought I'd make a quick video and we'll do a little bit of science and see if we can settle that debate, because I know when I first started growing eucalyptus, a lot of the stuff I read online said you should stratify for a lot of species, especially the ones from colder areas, and I was a bit skeptical at start and a bit lazy, so I just put some in the ground and sure enough they all germinated fine. So ever since then I've never bothered stratifying any of the many different species I've grown, and I've never had any trouble with germination at all. So I thought I would do a quick trial and see what happens, because if you look on the internet, I've picked on nitens because I've got some fresh seeds here and the seeds are quite big, so I'm going to pick out individual seeds and stratify half of them and just put the other half straight in the ground. And if you look on the internet for nitens, I'm just going to put up some of the Google search results here so you can see. Basically says stratification of 4 weeks is recommended to speed up and even out germination. So they don't really say that it's a must do, just that it should speed it up. So we'll find out. So what I'm going to do is I've got some seeds here, so I'm going to tip them out and I will go through those and separate them into two piles. Well, I'm going to count out 20, so you can see the seeds they're small, but they're big enough that you can with the tip of a pen or whatever you can pick out the black seeds and separate them out from the chaff. And I'll put 10. I've got a paper towel here and a plastic bag, and I'll moisten that, put the seeds on it, put it in the bag, put it in the fridge. 11th of September today, put it in the fridge 28 days. I'll keep the other 10 separate and I'll plant them all at the same time and we'll have a look and see what happens. And I'm guessing that at this time of year, it's early spring here in New Zealand. It's still not super warm, but I think that if I direct planted, I would get germination within a couple of weeks, so we'll see what happens. Okay. Okay, there you go. I've split that into, I've separated out 20 seeds there. You see there's quite a variety of different shapes and sizes there, but I will just randomly, I'm going to mix them up and then just split them down the middle so I don't end up with picking out all the biggest ones or anything like that. I'll try and be a little bit scientific about it. So I'll put them in a line and then just split them down the middle. And then we'll get them ready to go into the fridge. Half of them, I'll put the remainder back in the packet and they can live another day. So I'll just quickly take you outside and show you some that I've got germinated at present. So these weren't stratified, and these are exactly the same seeds. These seeds are all from a single parent, so they're all from one tree. Same as the ones I'm showing you outside, all from the same parent. So these ones just were direct sown about a month ago, so I always plant these sort of late winter here in New Zealand, and as you can see they've germinated pretty, I'd say pretty consistently, pretty evenly, most of them around the same size. So yeah, we'll see what results we get. So there are my seeds, 10 of on the napkin, moist napkin, ready to go in the fridge. And there are my other 10, which are going to go back in the packet until I've got a separate packet here. And they will remain in the packet until the stratification is finished. So in a month, I will pull these out and we'll be straight into sowing. Hi guys, I've got my nitens seeds here I've had in the fridge. I've actually left them a little late because time flies and I didn't even realise already 5 weeks. So it's 5 weeks and 2 days if you're playing at home. And I'm going to get these out. I've got enough hands, so I'm going to just balance this on my beer bottle for you. And pull these out and have a look. How exciting. So open these up and I'm hoping, ta-da! So there we go, none of them have sprouted in the fridge, that's good. That's what I was hoping for. Get this thing to focus, there we go. So 10, still nice and damp, not too much mould there, which is what we want to see. And I'll go and find my other 10 that I put aside and we will go and put these in some seed mix and see how long they take. Okay, back again, and I've got a box here of random seedlings. So since my sequoia dendron never came up, I'm going to put them in here, so I'm not going to bother labelling these, it's all going to be on video. So at the top half I'm going to put the unstratified seeds, so I've got 10 of them here. You might not be able to see, but they're on the bottom of there, so I separated them out. 10 of them, and I'm going to put them in here. And balance this thing here. Put them up. Let's have a look. Not really, but hey, just have to take my word for it. There we go. 10 in there. Cover them up lightly. Doesn't matter too much. They seem to find a way. And in the bottom, I will put my 10 that I have stratified. And I'm going to do these by hand because they have swollen up a wee bit. Being in the fridge, being moist. Oh, one is sprouting. I told a lie earlier. I'm not going to show you that, but take my word for it, one of them's already got a root on it. You've ever seen this yet when I put it in the... Once it finished. Right, here we go. See that little white? If I get the focus, there you go, little radical there. So that's not a bad picture actually, quite clear. So yeah, out of 10, I had one germinating 5 weeks and 2 days in the fridge. So you wouldn't want to leave them any longer than that because they're a bit tricky to handle once at that stage. But the other 9, all good. So I will cover those up. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, as long as they stay moist, everything will be well. There we go. So, this video is my record. I've got unstratified, non-stratified at the top, and down below under this thing. Yeah, I've got 10 that have been stratified, and at least one of them should germinate. So put them back out in the garden, see what happens. See you in a couple of weeks. Guys, back again, bit of time travel, and here we are. So we've had some germination success. Can't see. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. So today's the 4th of November. The previous video, you'll recall, was the 18th of October, so just over 2 weeks ago. So on the bottom here, is the ones that were stratified, and on the top is the ones that weren't. They just went straight in, direct sowed. So unfortunately the colour of those seedlings is such that they're quite hard to see on my phone screen at least, but I'll talk you through what I can see here. So of those that were stratified, there's two there that are quite well advanced, and you would have seen in my previous clip that there was one already germinating on the paper towel, so it could be one of those two, but basically those two came up pretty quick, and then you have to zoom in a little. There was actually some insect damage. I think I had slugs in there, or some other, maybe damping off, who knows. But you can see a few there in the centre, just here. Got damaged, basically got cut off where they meet the ground, and there's one smaller one there just germinating that's still alive. So that smaller one, let me just give him a poke. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's still alive or whether that's been sliced off. But what I would say is the claims that stratification evens out germination, I would say, weren't borne out by the evidence. I think they certainly germinated a little quicker, but probably only by a few days. But the germination certainly wasn't completely even. There were still a few days between each, and those two bigger ones there being a bit earlier. The ones you can see that have been hacked off were a little later. So I had a count up there of the ones I could see that were partially germinated or still alive, or that had been cut off by the bugs or fungus. There's 6 there that I could count. So coming over to my unstratified that I directly sowed, see if I can get this to focus. So there's 6 there as well, germinated, and they're all alive and kicking. What I would say is interesting is they're all almost exactly at the same stage of germination, more or less all the same size. So I think that blows the theory of evening out the germination out the window. That's obviously, stratification hasn't helped that whatsoever. In fact, I would say those have germinated very evenly. From what I can see, they all more or less came up on the same day, and 6 out of 10 planted. I'd say that's not bad as a germination percentage. Maybe a couple more stragglers might come up in the next few days, but those have been up for a while now, for a good few days. So based on what I've seen there, and it's a bit frustrating that some of those have died off, but based on what I can see there, an extra 5 weeks mucking around putting them in the fridge, I would say definitely not worth it in the case of nitens at least. Sowing those directly into the ground, 2 weeks and you've got good germination. 60% germination, very even. Stratification, slightly ahead, but I did muck around putting them in the fridge. So there you go, a semi-scientific study of stratification. Eucalyptus nitens.